The courage to demand more. How your greatness requires your boldness. Have you ever felt that strange tension between who you are and who you're becoming? That moment when something inside you whispers, there's more, but the world seems perfectly content with your current version? I recently had the extraordinary privilege of interviewing Kiyah Bella for my podcast, and her words have been echoing in my mind ever since. The more in you will always require more of you. Such a simple phrase, yet it carries the weight of a universal truth that many of us spend our entire lives avoiding. Kiyah Bella isn't just a visionary entrepreneur. She's a revolutionary force who has built multiple successful businesses by refusing to shrink herself to fit into space that weren't designed for her expansion. Her impact extends far beyond business metrics. She's creating pathways for others to step fully into their power without apology. In a world that often asks women, especially Black women, to dim their light, Kiyah stands as a beacon, showing others how to shine unapologetically. Let's sit with that phrase for a moment. The more in you will always require more of you. It's not just about potential, it's about the courage to answer when that potential calls. We all have these moments, don't we? When we sense there's something greater waiting for us, just beyond the horizon of our comfort. But here's the uncomfortable truth that greatness doesn't come cheap. It demands payment in full, your full attention, your full effort, your full presence. During our conversation, Kiyah shared three profound insights that transformed my understanding of personal growth. First, she emphasized our innate power to shift our mindsets when something isn't working. Our thoughts aren't fixed, they're malleable, responsive to our intention and attention. Second, she highlighted how intentional living frees us from dependency on external validation. When we deliberately choose our path, rather than reactively responding to others' expectations, we reclaim our power. And third, she illuminated how authentic self expression not only liberates us, but creates permission for others to do the same. But these weren't just philosophical musings. Kiyah backed these principles with real world evidence, stories of transformation that left me questioning how often I've settled for less than what was possible. Consider Rakia Scott, an entrepreneur who embodied Kiyah's philosophy when she decided to write a book on entrepreneurship. The market was saturated, critics were skeptical, and conventional wisdom suggested she had nothing new to offer. But Rakia understood something crucial. Her unique perspective was precisely what made her contribution valuable. She describes herself as soft in spirit, solid in purpose, a beautiful paradox that captures the essence of authentic power. Instead of hardening herself to fit the traditional entrepreneurial mold, she leaned into her natural softness while remaining uncompromising in her vision. The result? By May 2025, her book, Entrepreneurship as I Know It, had reached one new release status and became the seventh bestseller in its category. But the numbers only tell part of the story. The real triumph was in Rakia's refusal to abandon her authentic voice, even when the easier path would have been to mimic established success formulas. This is what Kiyah means when she says the more in you requires more of you. Rakia had to give more courage, more persistence, more faith in her unique perspective to bring forth what was inside her. And that more wasn't just about working harder, it was about the courage to remain distinctly herself in an industry that often rewards conformity. But what happens when your vision isn't taken seriously? This brings me to another powerful story Kiyah shared about her own journey. with content by Kiyah. When Kiyah first conceived this content creation business, it was met with polite dismissal. You know that look people give you? The one that says, that's cute, but not serious? That look that makes you question whether your vision is valid or just a passing fancy. Most people would have internalized that doubt. They would have quietly shelved their idea and moved on to something that received immediate validation. But Kiyah did something different. She held on to her vision with both hands, refusing to let external skepticism dim her internal clarity. Then came a pivotal moment in Houston, an unexpected encounter that validated what she had known all along. Her idea wasn't just viable, it was valuable. Today, content by Kiyah is a thriving business with a substantial audience, but it exists only because Kiyah was willing to give more conviction, more resilience, more self trust when external validation was nowhere to be found. This pattern of giving more to manifest the more within you appears again in Kiyah's evolution as a social media manager and marketing strategist. In a field where everyone claims expertise, Kiyah didn't just practice her craft, she mastered it to the point where she could not only implement, but also teach. She started as a social media manager, helping clients navigate the complex digital landscape. But she recognized something greater stirring within her, a capacity to empower others with the knowledge she had gained. This recognition demanded more from her, more vulnerability in sharing her methods, more courage in positioning herself as an authority, more generosity in creating educational resources. The outcome, she helped clients generate 6 and 7 figure revenues while simultaneously building her social media manager school, where she now equips others to create their own successful businesses. Her impact multiplied because she was willing to give more when her inner growth demanded it. These stories illuminate a profound truth. Growth isn't linear and it isn't automatic. It's a series of moments where you choose to honor what's emerging within you, even when that choice feels inconvenient, uncomfortable, or downright terrifying. But here's where many of us get stuck. We sense that stirring within, that quiet knowing that we're capable of more, but we hesitate at the threshold of what it will cost us. We want the expansion without the expense. We want the growth without the growing pains. We want the destination without the journey. And society encourages this hesitation. We're surrounded by messages promising easy paths to success, overnight transformations, effortless achievement. These messages aren't just misleading, they're actively harmful because they set us up to abandon our growth at the first sign of difficulty. What Kia's philosophy offers instead is a more honest relationship with our potential. Yes, there is more in you, more creativity, more wisdom, more impact, more joy, but accessing that more requires more from you, more courage, more discipline, more vulnerability, more faith. This isn't about hustle culture or grinding yourself into exhaustion. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's about recognizing that true growth often requires a different kind of effort, not necessarily more hours, but more presence, not necessarily more striving, but more surrender to your authentic path. Sometimes giving more means saying no more often. Sometimes it means resting more deeply. Sometimes it means trusting more fully when logic suggests caution. The more required isn't always what we expect, but it's always what we need to give to honor our expansion. I'm reminded of something Kiyah emphasized during our conversation: intentional living. Moving beyond dependency on external systems and opinions requires intentional thinking, planning, and execution. True empowerment comes from deliberate action rather than reactive responses. This intentionality is critical because growth doesn't happen by accident. The more in you doesn't automatically manifest itself. It requires your conscious participation, your deliberate choice to step toward it rather than away from it. And here's where the magic happens. When you consistently choose to give what your growth requires, you create a powerful momentum. Each time you honor the more within you by giving more of yourself, you strengthen your capacity to do it again. What once felt like a terrifying leap gradually becomes your natural way of being. So today I challenge you to ask yourself, what more is in you that's waiting to be expressed? What greatness lies dormant because you've been unwilling to give what it requires? Perhaps it's a business idea you've dismissed as impractical. Maybe it's a creative project you've convinced yourself isn't worthy of your time. Or possibly it's a way of being more authentic, more vulnerable, more powerful. That feels too risky to embrace. Whatever it is, know this: the world needs what only you can give. Your unique voice, your distinctive perspective, your particular gifts, these aren't just nice additions to the collective, they're essential components. When you withhold the more that's in you, we all lose. I invite you, no, I implore you to make a commitment today. Identify one area where you sense there's more in you waiting to emerge. Then determine what more it's requiring of you. Is it more courage, more discipline, more vulnerability, more faith? And finally, take one bold step toward giving what's required. Remember Rakia Scott, who trusted her unique voice enough to share it with the world. Remember Kia's content creation business that flourished despite initial dismissal. Remember that the path to your greatest contribution is paved with moments of choosing to give more when it would be easier to give less. Because ultimately, the question isn't whether there's more in you, there absolutely is. The question is whether you're willing to give what that more requires. Your answer to that question won't just determine the trajectory of your life, it will shape the lives of countless others who need exactly what you have to offer. The more in you will always require more of you. But I promise you this: what awaits on the other side of that giving is nothing less than the fullest expression of who you were created to be. And that, my friends, is worth everything you have to give.